There's not a single client of mine who schedules on their terms. Not one. They all schedule on my terms, on my schedule, when they fit with me. Your schedule has to be your most protected resource of all time. Because guess what? No one else in this company, I don't care if you guys have a team of 20, 40, 60, can step in and do things that you do.
Hey everyone, it's Tamara Thompson with Women Unlocking Wealth, and I'm here with my co-host Danielle.
Hey everybody.
And I'm super excited for our next guest, Olenka Cullinan. And she's an executive coach. She's an advisor to a Fortune 500 company. She's a 3-time founder. She's a speaker. She's all the things. Like, she's amazing. And she looks really good in pink, by the way. So thank you so much for coming in today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And you can be my spokesperson any day. Yes.
Sold. No, I love it. It always pops with like the yellow chairs and everything. So, but tell us a little bit how you got more like just into the path that you're going in now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my mother was a CEO of a company for 37 years. I don't think she gave me a choice other than becoming an entrepreneur. I pretty much grew up. She ran the second largest manufacturing company, took it from 87 employees to over 300. Wow. And I remember falling asleep at the factory, but I also learned a lot of business through her and essentially followed in her footsteps, almost not by like choice. It was just, isn't everybody doing this? Yeah. And then launched my first business, Calling Rising Tycoons, because we were working with kids, teaching them how to take ideas, make them marketable, turn it into, almost a full-blown venture, almost like a miniature Shark Tank version. Then sold and exited that and realized that there were not enough women making millions, really. And that is what inspired I Start First, which turned out as a hashtag. It started out as a hashtag. I was just going speaking.
Which platform? You're like all over.
I primarily LinkedIn and Instagram. So when I started, it was primarily Facebook. But I went and spoke at different women's conferences. And in the process, women kept reaching out, what else is there? And I realized that there was a massive kind of gap there between culture, sell, and hustle. Right? Culturally, women are sold, you need to hustle, you need to work harder.
The word hustle.
Me neither.
Hustle or grind. I'm like, it's not needed.
Right. And then also not enough women hitting the first million and up because of multiple factors. So I realized essentially that women do business very, very differently. And that is why I launched my company.
I love that. And that's what the whole essence of this show is really about, like encouraging, inspiring more women to reach their, $1 million mark. I mean, these days, like to us, as we've grown a business too, like $1 million is not very much. Like in our mindset and other things that we've seen that are capable. It's so interesting to see like that. But it's like I always want to like encourage the women in their mindset to just be like, think differently, think way bigger on that side.
And I think also like not just looking at the revenue, like we could have high revenue, but if you don't have high profit, then what the heck is the point?
What's the point of that?
Yeah. Yes, I couldn't agree more. That always just makes me so sad.
Well,
because
you have the operations standpoint fractional for like over 15 years. And if they don't have operations in place, then the profit's not going to be there either.
Exactly. And like, I don't care, and there's such a drive right now for showing like everybody's posting their screenshots on, social media. I'm like, okay, unless you show me your taxes and your P&Ls, I could care less about your screenshots, right? We're in the age of social media. I can be an astronaut tomorrow if I hire you guys and you are an amazing PR. Exactly. I can be anything. And so to me, it's exactly that, right? Profit is the only thing that matters. And yes, from the operational standpoint, systems drive profit, not humans, because humans are emotional. And I always say numbers don't lie.
Yeah. What do you feel like your mom instilled in you that you just grabbed from her and like took and ran with?
The fact that I don't care how aesthetically pleasing this is, how pretty it is, how many times you're going to rename your company, your website, trademark all the things. If you don't have a solid back end to your company, like your operations, your systems, your optimized approach, none of this matters. You're just going to be surface and shallow for as long as you can, and you will have she called it accidental success. She said, I want you to build legacy, not accidental success.
I love that. And so a lot of times when people hire a business coach or even a consultant, they don't even look at the numbers. It's like you need to be looking at the P&Ls of these people you're consulting so you understand is going on in their business. Sorry, I didn't want to curse there. But it really bothers me when you hire a consultant for like $100K or even like 80K, 60K, whatever. And they didn't like, look at your P&L. And that's all I say is raise your prices.
Raise your prices.
Yes.
So we hired a CMO recently. Like he sold his own company for 70 mil. And like we're just like getting really granular on everything. But I mean, so do you actually look at the P&Ls? Like, do you go, what else do you do to go deeper with these women?
Absolutely. I always start with what's not working, right? Yeah. Because if you brought me and something is not working, you are not at the level you want to be, you're not having the team that you want to have, your numbers are not aligned. So yes. And, and there are, unfortunately, a lot of bad consultants, right? And a lot of horrible coaches. And I'm just going to be the person to say it.
Sea of coaches right now.
I know. And especially like after COVID, I felt like everybody became a coach. I called myself the uncoach for a minute for that
I
reason.
love that.
Or the ones that market themselves like, I'm going to teach you how to scale to 1 million, but they haven't done it themselves.
Right. And that kills me. To me, it's like you were either really good at marketing and you became the coach who knows how to market well, right? In which case you're just...
And you're a marketer.
Right. You're a marketer. But yes, for me, it's a great question. And to me, it's exactly that. Like if you're looking to go, and I will say that to women, you guys obviously next level, right? You're going 7 to 8. But for a lot of women, going that first $500,000 to $1 million is where you have to get brutally honest with yourself with numbers. You have to look at what customers I actually work in. Like I look at the customer base because let's be real, 5 of your customers sometimes are more responsible for your success than 200 others. Not all customers are equal, right? So we look at the customer base. We look at who do you need to say goodbye to. And people have really hard time with that. I come into teams where I'm like, why are they here? Why did you hire a consultant who told you just hire more? What a horrible idea. Like you already have a team that's not working. Why are we bringing more people on? Let's basically burn everyone up. And then with numbers, yes, you have to get granular. You have to look at, everything from marketing, where you're spending. And I mean, you guys have, I'm sure you both experienced that, right? Where the companies are like, let's just throw more money. You don't even know what marketing works for you. What are you throwing money at? Yeah. So to me,
you have to know even like the percentages of what you need to spend on what, like 20 to 25% on marketing expenses in general. Like where are these being delegated?
Exactly. Because
people could be like spending like they're like, oh, I put like who did we hear the other day? They're like, oh, we spent 20,000 in ads to gain back 30,000 in sales. I was like, okay. I was like, that's horrible. They were like talking as if it was awesome. I was like, you had like a $10,000.
We spent like 2,000 and we made over 300,000.
Right.
It's only because we were paying attention to marketing and what was working.
And you see like the top ads out there too. If you can go replicate and you can tell what ads do well or not, or like what they're leveraging on that side. So I mean, if you turn around, we had a moment where we had 7,000 spent in ad spend and it generated 358,000 in revenue.
Amazing.
So 7,000 in ads a month and then 350,000. So when you have a higher budget for ads,
correct,
like you can grow so much faster.
Much faster. If you know where
with the right marketing and the right demographic.
Right. Correct.
Some people start dabbling in ads, and yes, you can start with lower ad spend, but when people understand that when you do have an extra ad spend, that you can reach them a lot faster.
Absolutely.
You can spend like 160. Like yesterday, we were like, okay, what's the cost of these right now? So our average lead on a specific ad is about $166 per lead. So, and then yesterday we had 6 qualified leads come in at $166 a piece. And that's totally worth it.
And it's because they're coming in at different revenue. So we're targeting do they make like 1 to 5 million?
Yeah, exactly.
So we're looking for if they're pre-revenue, those leads are thrown out. We do not even call them. Yeah. Like it's just not going to happen.
You don't have a business, buy.
Well, and that's true because you guys know who your ideal client is. You're not targeting everybody. Yes. Yeah. And I think, but that's also, I love that you brought this up. I see a lot of companies that are in there like that first 5 million range. And they're still targeting their own avatar because it's almost like they've gone so far out from who their people are. And now they're like, to your point, we have the extra money. Let's just flood it. I'm like, what is happening here?
No, and one of the things too is like people don't understand. Yeah, like you said, like when they go from like a in between the 1 and 10 million mark is different than going from like 10 to 50.
Absolutely.
Like everything changes, and that's what I'm sure you go in and help people with as well.
What do you see the difference with like the ones that are pre 7 figures and the ones that are like 7 figures trying to scale to 8 figures? Like, is there a difference in the operations that you're seeing, or is it very similar?
1,000. No, there's definitely a difference because that first 7 figures, they're still struggling with delegation. They're still struggling with hiring because they're still like hanging on, We made that first million, like we made that first little gold pot.
Or like the CEO's like still wearing too many hats. Or
100%. I talk to those CEOs all the time about, strategy is not a one-time yearly meeting. It's a living, breathing thing.
I got a one-time retreat.
Well, it's kind of like for you guys, I'm sure like marketing is not one-time goal where you get together in January and you're like, go make us more money, So you will revisit it. Like you said, you look at it all the time. You look what's working.
Every Tuesday.
Exactly. Here you go, right? We look at numbers.
Are you looking at it daily or are you looking at it weekly? Like, what is your suggestion?
My suggestion with the first 7, I want them to look at it at least daily.
Yeah.
Because they're still like, they don't have the revenue level to just throw stuff out freely, right? They still have to be very smart. But they also have to be like in the delegation mode. A lot of times, like I said, I still pry it a little shaky hands. And then those 10 to 50 or like 50 to 500 million, they do have the systems. And this is where, I always say this is where every void in your leadership is going to surface. Because whatever you were hiding before that, this is where it's going to surface big time. Because it's either you're controlling and it's going to show up where you're killing great teams because you're micromanaging to death. It's also because you have too much like free profit, not free, profit is never free, but like available profit where you start flooding things that you shouldn't be flooding.
Yep.
And it's also where you sometimes, the C-suite in general, not even the CEO, because at that point, most of them have CMO, CSO, all the things, but they step so far out and they're like, telling middle managers, go do that. And middle managers have no idea what it is. Okay, they're like, what is it? And where are we going? And so that's the difference to me. That's the biggest difference for sure.
That's big. Yeah. That's really cool. So I was, because we just had another gal on the show and we were talking about like the differences that she sees. And it like she went into more of culture. So it's like interesting to see what you're saying because I agree with both of you. Like there's so many variations of it. And I was just curious. So.
Yeah, what do you guys see with your growth right now? What's your biggest pain point? So what are you most...
Okay, so I'll give a story. So a few years ago, we were very involved in the business, like overseeing like the client calls primarily. Our team does the video editing and graphics.
Like 10 of the clients.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. So 10 of our highest paying clients, she's like, just fire them. And I'm like, that's going to impact us like
it did
the end of year revenue.
It did.
And my accountant, we're on the call with the accountant and she's
CFO.
like, I agree with Tamara. And I'm like, you guys are going to destroy our revenue for the end of the year.
Well, okay.
We looked at the report. We lost $100K plus that year.
I mean, it wasn't much on the loss. So so it was just about $100K less from the previous year.
Yeah.
And then
we still had high revenue with like the other stuff. Though.
Yeah.
Right. So, but was okay, so was a mentor? No, I had a mentor. But it was, one of the things was she really wanted to, like, she was burning out, right? So she was a lot of like in the client fulfillment. She's on a lot of the calls. And then, she wasn't happy. So I wanted to help create more happiness in her life. And I was like, we're going to pull you out of this, right? Yeah. And so like for a whole year, she's like, I just pulled her out. I'm like, you're fine.
And so the next year I had no calls at all, which was amazing. I lost 72 pounds. We scaled our revenue up even more.
Yeah, we went through a whole life change, lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Took time for ourselves.
Congratulations on everything.
I know.
All the things,
But she was so mad at me at the beginning.
I was like about to end the partnership. I was like, this pisses me off. Like we can't make this decision.
Cares. Yeah.
But we
restructured it, set boundaries, and started putting the things in the closet stuff. So when you put stuff in the scope of work, you put the scope of work, but then you also put what you don't do in the scope of work on that side. So in the contracts, because a lot of people come to us and continuously ask for more, or do you do this, or do you do this? And we still go in and do a little bit of the above and beyond. Right. It's because we show that we care. We're trying to help these businesses as well.
Yeah.
And so, but it got to be the point where people were calling her at 9 p.m. They were texting her. There were people writing her on Christmas. And I was like, do not answer that.
I would answer it.
I was like, this is Christmas Day.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't care who this person is right now. You have Christmas off. It's a freaking Saturday and a Christmas weekend. So I got pissed off, right? So that was just me. And that's, I don't get pissed off too often. So nobody sees that. But it really did irk me. And I was like, that's it. I was like, I'm done. I'm the first of the year. This person's gone. This person's gone. This person's gone. This person's gone. Because I didn't value Danielle's time. They didn't respect her. They didn't respect the boundaries. And they kept asking for more. And we kept telling them certain things.
I take responsibility for that. Like, I want to take accountability for being a pushover and just doing everything.
You're not a pushover to me.
Wants it.
But it's your learning curve, right? Like, you had to go through the learning curve. And I mean, I do love that Tamara brought it up. Boundaries is massive.
Exactly.
Like, the higher you grow, the more ruthless you have to become with your boundaries, to your point, because you have clients who are bigger, which means they're bigger prima donnas. We're all going to talk about it publicly. That's fine. My clients are the biggest prima donnas in the world. They all think every single one's the most important. But I'm going to share something that will be the living proof because of this podcast. There's not a single client of mine who schedules on their terms. Not one. They all schedule on my terms, on my schedule, when they fit with me. And there is a proof for this if you look on my calendar, because I'm a mom, because I do a lot of things.
Your phone.
So it's right there, right after podcast. I'm going to show it. My schedule is ruthless. And that is one thing I tell growth-based companies, like companies in that 50 plus or 10 plus. You have to, especially as the leaders of that company, your schedule has to be your most protected resource of all time. Because guess what? No one else in this company, I don't care if you guys have a team of 20, 40, 60, can step in and do things that you do. Your vital few, no one else in the company can basically deliver on that. And so I love the fact that you did that. I'm sure it felt a little bit painful and hurtful, but it's well worth it. Yeah. Yes.
I mean, it's a great story to tell.
She's here and she's not mad at you now.
She's still here. You bought me birthday
presents? The next year, so I didn't have any phone calls. We scaled our revenue up even higher. That. So it was she made the right call. Yeah. It just was a really uncomfortable call for me because I come from a poverty background. Like, my family was very poor. Yeah. So I hate telling this story all the time. And so, like, I'm scarcity mindset, holding on to every single dollar that there is. And that's where it was like triggering my PTSD from childhood.
100%.
And I'm over there, I'm like, just stop. I'm like, let it go.
Yeah. And I can relate to Danielle very much because I didn't come from poverty mindset, but after my parents got divorced, I call it reverse princess syndrome. My mom basically bought my dad out partially because of a divorce, and then she lost almost everything for a while. She rebuilt herself, but I was like, what happened? I was used to a certain style and certain lifestyle, and then I moved here and lived out of goodwill. And I'm like, ew, what happened here? So it was definitely a huge wake-up call. So I definitely can relate to you because I, in my first years of business, also have had to catch myself going, is this serving the higher version of me? By the way, quick little pointer for anyone listening. If you really want to snap yourself out of those habits, I call it the higher Olenka alarm set on my phone daily at random times. It repeats itself because when it rings, I have to catch myself at what I'm doing at that second and say, is it serving the higher purpose of me? If it's not, I stop it immediately.
That's cool.
So this is your call out. Highly recommend trying.
Okay, high five on that. That's like really freaking smart.
Over there.
That was so good.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love that. We're going to talk about this all day.
Yeah. Oh, man. You're going to have to come back for part two.
Always, anytime I'm here.
Oh, I love it. Well, thank you so much for joining us this fun conversation. I think it really does speak truth, though, out there to, a lot of women out there. Everyone has what it takes. Like, nothing's impossible. It's really about just finding things out, testing the market, testing things. Don't give up on something that's not working right then. Like with marketing, content marketing, ads. Like, you have to test things, trial things. Like, when we work with our clients, we say, hey, at least test things for at least a good 6 months. Like, things don't always happen overnight. So, but of course we're going to apply things and test things, but it's the same way with life and business. Like, keep trying whatever works or what doesn't work, like try again, hire a coach or a consultant that can help you go through that process and just keep going on that side.
Absolutely. And to Danielle's point, don't stop when it's painful.
Yeah. Push through that. Push through it.
Well, and and make sure that you're working with people that you want to serve too. I mean, you can't always control that piece, but there's areas where, like you said, set boundaries and set your own time for yourself because it's your time and energy. So.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I super appreciate you. This has been a great conversation. You're definitely going to have to come back for part 2. Can you tell the audience a little bit more how they can connect with you?
Yeah, absolutely. We can connect via my website, istartfirst.com, super easy. Or if you look up my name, I'm primarily on LinkedIn and Instagram. You can reach out there and it won't be bot answering you. It will be me.
Awesome. No bots? Okay. No AI. Well, I love it. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And those who are watching, be sure to subscribe. Leave us a comment. Let us know how we're doing. Leave a review on Apple or Spotify, and we'll see you in the next episode.